After meaning loosens, after certainty fades, another impulse begins to reveal itself. Fixing, not care, not responsiveness. Fixing as the reflex to treat experience as something that must be corrected, something slightly wrong, something unfinished in a way that feels uncomfortable, something that needs improvement before it's allowed to rest. For much of our lives, fixing feels responsible. If something hurts, we fix it. If something breaks, we repair it. If something feels off, we adjust. And when awareness begins, fixing often turns inward. We fix our reactions. We fix our patterns. We fix our beliefs. We fix ourselves. First, this feels helpful, creates movement, creates hope, creates a sense of agency. But at some point, fixing begins to feel endless, not empowering, exhausting. I noticed this shift when effort stopped leading anywhere, when insight didn't settle me, when self-awareness didn't bring relief. When each improvement revealed another thing that needed work, there was always something else, another habit, another layer, another blind spot, and I realized I wasn't living anymore. I was managing myself. Living without fixing doesn't happen because you stop caring about growth. It happens because you see how fixing subtly keeps you at odds with life. Fixing implies deficiency. Something is not okay yet. Something needs to change before this moment is allowed to be complete. Even when the fixing is gentle, even when it's compassionate, it still positions the present moment as provisional, temporary, not enough yet. Living without fixing begins when you stop treating experience as a problem. Not because everything is fine, but because not everything is a problem. This is a deep shift, because fixing has been how you stayed engaged. If I'm fixing, I'm doing something. If I'm improving, I'm moving forward. If I'm working on myself, I'm responsible. Without fixing, you may worry. Am I becoming complacent? Am I giving up? Am I letting things slide? But something else happens. Responsiveness replaces correction. You still notice what's happening. You still feel discomfort. You still make changes when change is needed. But you're no longer fighting the moment as it is. You're meeting it. Fixing often keeps you one step removed. You experience something and immediately step outside it to adjust, analyze, or correct. Living without fixing lets you stay inside experience long enough for it to move on its own. This is especially noticeable with emotion. Before, emotion triggered fixing. Why am I feeling this? What's the lesson? How do I move past this? Now, emotion is allowed to complete itself. You feel it. You stay with it. Passes. No intervention required. This doesn't make emotion disappear. It makes it shorter. Fixing often prolongs what it tries to solve. Living without fixing also changes how you relate to yourself. Before, the self was a project, something to refine, something to optimize, something to heal. Now, the self becomes an organism. It responds. It adapts. It doesn't need constant correction. You stop scanning yourself for what needs work. You stop evaluating your inner state as if it's a report card. You allow yourself to be human without constantly adjusting the dial. This can feel like relief and fear, because fixing gave you purpose, kept you busy. Without it, there can be space. And space can feel unsettling if you're used to improvement as identity. But that space isn't empty. It's alive. Living without fixing also affects how you relate to others. Before, care often came with correction, advice, reframing, suggestions. You wanted to help. You wanted to ease suffering. But fixing others often kept you from being with them. You were solving instead of listening. Without fixing, presence deepens. You don't rush to improve the moment. You stay with it. That kind of presence can feel uncomfortable at first, because it doesn't do anything, but it allows something else to happen. People feel met instead of managed. This doesn't mean you never help. It means help arises when it's needed, not as a reflex. Living without fixing also reshapes compassion. Compassion no longer means making things better. It means staying with discomfort without needing to resolve it. This is difficult, because fixing was how you reduced pain, yours and others. Without it, pain can feel more immediate, but paradoxically, it moves more freely, because it's not being resisted. Fixing often traps pain by insisting it shouldn't be here. Without that insistence, pain completes its cycle. Living without fixing also changes how you relate to time. Before, time was structured around improvement. Eventually, I'll be different. Eventually, this will be resolved. Eventually, things will make sense. Now, time becomes less goal-oriented. You're not waiting for a future version of yourself to authorize peace. You're allowing peace to exist now, even if things aren't resolved. This doesn't mean stagnation. It means rest. Rest that doesn't need to be earned. This stage often brings a surprising gentleness toward yourself, toward others, toward life. You're not constantly pushing. You're allowing. That allowance isn't passive. It's intelligent. It knows when to act and when to wait. Living without fixing also reveals how much identity was tied to being capable. Being the one who handles things. Being the one who improves situations. Being the one who figures it out. When fixing dissolves, that identity loosens. And that can feel disorienting. Who am I if I'm not improving things? You're present, and presence doesn't need a role. This stage often marks the end of self-improvement as a central narrative. Not because growth stops, but because growth is no longer forced. It happens naturally as a result of living. You don't try to change. You respond. And response changes you without effort. Living without fixing also alters how you relate to mistakes. Before, mistakes demanded correction. Fix this. Do better next time. Learn the lesson. Now, mistakes are simply part of movement. You notice them. You adjust. There's no moral weight. No internal lecture. You don't turn every misstep into a self-improvement opportunity. Sometimes a mistake is just a mistake. And that simplicity is freeing. Fixing turned life into a series of problems. Without fixing, life becomes a series of experiences. Some pleasant, some painful, all temporary. This doesn't make life shallow. It makes it direct. You're no longer standing above experience trying to manage it. You're inside it, participating. Season 2 has been about letting go of the subtle structures that once organized your inner life. Reference, direction, proof, roles, expectation, control, certainty, meaning, fixing. Each of these once served a purpose. They helped you navigate uncertainty when presence was still fragile. Now, presence can stand on its own. It doesn't need to be managed. Living without fixing doesn't mean you'll never feel the impulse again. You will, especially in moments of discomfort. But when that impulse arises, you recognize it. You don't automatically obey it. You pause. You feel. You respond if needed or you don't. And that choice is no longer driven by anxiety. It's driven by clarity. This is where living unfinished becomes real. Not as an idea, as an experience. You stop trying to complete yourself. You stop trying to finalize life. You let it be open, ongoing, unresolved. And in that openness, there's a surprising steadiness. Because nothing is being forced anymore. If you've noticed yourself less eager to fix yourself, if discomfort feels more tolerable without needing explanation, if presence feels enough even when nothing changes, you're not giving up. You're releasing a burden you were never meant to carry forever. You're living without fixing. And that doesn't make you passive. It makes you available. Available to feel. Available to respond. Available to live without constantly correcting yourself. And if this reflection met something real in you, liking the video helps it reach others who may be learning how to stay with life without trying to repair it. If someone came to mind while listening, sharing it may help them feel less alone in that gentle shift. You're welcome to subscribe if you'd like to continue through this season. Not to improve yourself, but to live honestly without needing to be fixed, unfinished.